The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Supernatural. Magic. Ghosts. UFOs. Bigfoot. Extraterrestrial. Psychic energy.
The Calling.
And good evening, everyone. It's a Wednesday night and actually a beautiful day today. Thank you for coming on to The Calling with Kimberly Juarez. How you doing, Kim?
Does that hurt, Jerry? I just
No.
want to know.
Actually, no, it feels better. And you just, Juarez. That was my sexy voice to you. Does that make you feel... I'm not going to say it.
Does it make you feel special?
Oh, dirty, dirty, dirty.
Oh, my gosh. It is a beautiful day, Jerry. It is.
Yep. No storms. Humidity
No,
level
nothing.
was down. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
It was
feels
really nice.
good. Yeah, it really
Yep.
was.
Now, have you noticed in some stores that they have no change? I went to three
haven't.
stores today, and they said, "Can you please pay with a credit card?"
Yep.
And I'm like,
That's-
"Why?" They said they're out of change, and I said, "Okay, wait a minute. You guys are out of change, or the banks are out of change?" They said our armored car service that comes is completely out of coin, so we
Wow.
don't have any. I'm like, wow. I said, you guys are going to have Karens coming in here like crazy. I have to wear a mask. You're not going to take any money
Yeah.
from me. I
Yeah.
don't want my credit card used. And that's just at a dollar store, you know. It's like, it's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
You know, I just felt
Oh, I
really
believe
bad
it.
for some of those places, you
I
know.
believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
It's crazy. First it was toilet paper. Now it's change. What's going to be next?
They won't take your change, maybe. Is
Well,
that what the whole purpose of this whole thing is, so they don't have to touch change?
No. They want they want coin, but they
Okay.
can't get it. You know, though it's United States currency, they have to take it. And yes, you know, you could pass the virus on from that, which people
Mhm.
still don't think that's really real. They
Yeah.
think it's but you know, it's incredible. Sherry was saying, I feel poor people named Karen, and it's true, you know. But she actually said that to Karen, and Karen is not like that. She is. And I'm sorry, she doesn't like the name calling. I apologize, but it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's nuts out there.
Yeah, things are getting really hectic out there, that's for sure, you know?
They are.
So,
They are.
they're going to start mandatory certain places, like in Mankato. We have to wear a mask everywhere we go in Mankato now. So,
Well, it's going to be
yeah.
like that in Minnesota. I mean,
Oh,
the whole
yeah.
state's going to be like that. It's going to be like that Walmart starting Monday here in Minnesota.
Yeah. Yep.
That you have to wear a mask, and I don't mind wearing a mask. You know,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
that bad. You know, I like doing my Darth Vader impression when you get to the thing. You know, is there anything else? You know,
Oh,
I
my
have one of
gosh.
those heavy ones. You can
Do you really?
barely breathe through it. You know,
Oh.
it's well filtered, and you know, you can only use it once. You know, a day. You know, I get everything done wearing it, and then you know, wash it right away so it's ready to go the next day. I have those little paper ones, but those I feel are for emergency purposes only, and for someone that's there that like doesn't have one but they want to go in the store. I'm more than happy to give one out to them. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll just say I just wore it yesterday. It should be okay. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so all right. So we're not going to do what the gathering did to us last night and make our guests wait.
It was fun though.
Minutes. Yeah, no, we had a great time. It was a lot of fun being on there, and it was kind of nice being able to sit there. And their studio was so clean; it just smelled good, And it's like, we stick to the floor on ours. That's terrible. You got to start cleaning up your coffee.
I know.
You splash it everywhere.
Coffee stains on the glass everywhere.
Oh no! She's like,
look at the space. It's just horrid.
It's it. Look, there's grounds in here, and then she throws it on the floor.
Oh,
God, people from down in Waseca.
Oh
my
God.
Gosh. Well, anyway, tonight we have Willow. Go ahead, Kim.
You go ahead, Jerry.
Le Mechant.
Yeah.
Le
You
Mechant.
did it.
I did it. I said it right. All right. Well, I said it with a good, Irish accent. And so I went through pretty good. But no, that's so. How are you doing, Willow?
I'm doing great, Jerry.
Excellent. And how's the weather there?
It cooled down a little bit today. It was only like 90. So, and I hear some thunder in the background. I don't think we're getting any rain. I think it just teases us a bit. So.
Oh, it's like you're on the calling.
Yeah,
right. That's about it.
Background effect.
Yeah. So, gosh, now you're in all sorts of stuff here, and I'm just going to read a little bit about you. So you own 3 businesses in New Orleans, Louisiana: Divine Source Spiritual Center, Black Rose Paranormal Adventures, and Black Rose Weddings. You're also a paranormal investigator and founder of Dark NOLA Paranormal. So how did you... When did all this stuff happen with you in your idea of becoming into the paranormal and supernatural?
Well, I've talked to the dead since I was about 3 years old, so it's just kind of a natural thing for me. And just when I got to New Orleans about a decade ago, I thought might as well just jump right in and use the skills and gifts that I have and make it a business. And so I did.
Awesome.
Well, that's good. That's good. And when did it start hitting you? I mean, you hit it when you were really young and everything, but what did your parents and everything think? Did they think, oh my God, she's crazy?
Well, yeah. And it's funny because my grandmother was the seer, as they called it, of the family. But she died when I was just a little bit over 3. And I had a near-death experience at about 2.5, 3 years old. I had anaphylactic shock from penicillin. And so after that, when my mom got me home from the hospital, she said she could hear me talking to people in my room that weren't there. And she thought for sure something happened to me. But she didn't want to believe that I had my grandmother's gift. So, she would not believe me. Even though she knew it, she wouldn't acknowledge it. She told me she didn't want to scare me. Once I got old enough, she finally admitted she knew the house was haunted.
Oh, no.
But it took a while for her to admit it.
Wow. What was your grandmother's gift?
She could see the dead and she knew things. They just called her a seer. She was born in Ireland and she just had that natural Celtic gift, they said.
Wow. Okay. And how did that... I mean, when you knew about that, when you started getting into that, did you actually, start asking your grandmother for help, or when did she pass? How old were you at that time?
Oh, she passed right after I was 3 years old. So she had watched me a lot. She was my babysitter basically when I was an infant, So for like the first 3 years of my life, and then she passed away from cancer. So, you know, it wasn't like I had her to go to even talk to about it.
Okay, all right. So Karen was asking, so do you think that you're maybe haunted by your grandmother?
I don't think so. She has never been one of the spirits that has come to me. I've seen many, but I've never seen hers. Well, I shouldn't say that.
Do you feel her at all? Do you feel her being around you and stuff, like guiding you maybe?
I don't think she's my guide. My father is my guide.
Oh, okay.
But he died when I was 13. I think the only time I've seen my grandmother's spirit was when my mother was passing in the hospital.
Oh.
And I watched all of the family spirits coming in
Wow.
ICU. And I'm like, okay, Mom, they're here for you, not me.
Right.
And so I'm going to let you go. You don't need to, you know, be in this realm anymore. And so I just let her know it was okay to cross.
Mm-hmm.
And she went peacefully.
Nice.
Wow. So, have you never talked to her after she died?
I never have. And I don't know why. But it was like, I guess maybe she was not meant to be my guide. I just never understood that.
Right. Even when a person's not, you know, or is not a guide or anything like that, but don't you ever, you know, kind of want to get a hold of her or anything?
Well, I have reached out. When we've been I do some seances for people, and at one point I got a lot of new equipment and things like that for my paranormal investigations. I was reaching out to anybody that wanted to talk to me.
Yeah.
So when I reached out to her, I realized she wasn't there. And I believe in reincarnation. I really believe she's already crossed back in. And I think maybe that's why I don't really connect with her. She's with us again.
Right.
And I believe that she believes that you're okay. You know what's going on. You know about yourself and what they're about and what the spirits are about. So I think she's okay. She's good with where you're at. You know.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Now, with some spirits that do communicate with you and stuff, how do they communicate? Do they communicate like, you know, when you're alone? Or when you're sleeping, how do they come in through your dreams?
Many different ways. I can hear them clairaudiently, so I can hear them. Sometimes they do come in my dreams. I've had visitations from people I would never expect to see. And I've also seen full body apparitions, even out in Jackson Square in New Orleans. So in the French Quarter. So they come to me in all different types of ways.
Wow.
Right. Now, I would say that you're at your spiritual center. What's the average of people that come in that just are curious, or people that want you to help them connect with someone?
A lot of the people that connect with me, they all want to either have some sort of spiritual guidance or they want to connect with deceased loved ones. Those are the two main reasons why they come to me.
Okay. Have you had one that came to you that kind of just sparked as soon as they walked in the door? And it's like there was a spirit already there that was ready to communicate, was grabbing your attention and saying, "She's here."
Yes, actually, out in Jackson Square, this happened. I was sitting out there one night, and I kept smelling like a burning building. And I was asking people all around me, I said, "Do you smell that smoke? Is there something on fire?" And nobody could smell it but me. And I'm like, okay, so it's obviously spirit. There's a spirit here that's going to come in and connect. There's somebody that's coming for them, and I just knew it. So first, a lady walks up to my table, and she tells me she's originally from Ohio, and then she's moved, and I don't remember where she was. And so one of her final questions was, "I'd like to know how my mother died. You know, what was all that about?" And I said, "Well, you know, there was some suspicious stuff going on there." You know, started to talk about it. And I said, "There wasn't a fire involved by chance, was there?" And she goes, "No." And I'm like, okay, well, it's not her then, right? Not 5 minutes later, she got up, another lady sat down, and then I saw her son standing behind her, who had passed away. And I'm like, the smell of smoke got even stronger at that point. She also was from Ohio, and he had passed when he was, everything ended up with a number 10. So it was like he was 28 years old. He died on the 10th of October. It was 10, which is a completion number.
Right.
And he died in a fire.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And he just wanted her to know that he is okay and that he didn't suffer, that he knew that he needed to breathe the flames in and die instantly.
Wow.
Now, when you do your readings and such, do you do them in a group type setting or individually?
I do both. When I do, I can have individual clients come in. Sometimes it's like a couple of family members, and each of them can reach out to a couple of different people that they'd like to reach out to. I invite the spirits in. Generally, they don't come in like that young man did, but they can. I just never know. Like I said, they come to me in so many different ways. I never know what to expect. Right. But when I do my paranormal investigations here, part of it is we do the investigation, we come back to my seance room, and then we do a seance. So I've had up to 15 people doing a group seance, and each one gets to reach out to somebody. So that's how we do it as well. But then it's a taste, and then they'll want to come back and they'll want to have that personal one-on-one with me so that we can get more in depth with loved ones.
Have you ever had like a group type thing, and then all of a sudden it's like just like that with that young man wanting to come in, that you all of a sudden you're like, hold on a minute, I need to pull you out and take you to the side here. We need to have a chat.
Well, I haven't done that, but I have been in a group setting, and they were all very close friends. And then I asked the person, is it okay if we talk on a personal level here? Because there's some things that you need to know. And it was about their daughter. So, and everybody in the room already knew most of what was going on. And this happened to be a murder situation. Okay. And she wanted me to tell who it was that did it.
Wow.
Oh, that is something else. Wow. Kimberly, go ahead.
Yeah. So when you're working at your center, do you have other people work with you that help out with you, or is it just you?
Okay. Well, I don't have my physical building anymore. Now,
okay.
I'm just basically working out of my home. I have my seance room and I have my reading room. So people come in, small groups or single, but whatever they want. Right. But I generally work alone unless I'm going to do a heavy duty clearing. And then I have one of my assistants help me with it. Okay. Because sometimes there's negative energies I don't want to face by myself.
Right.
So
that's understandable.
I do clearings, exorcisms, things like that.
Okay.
Oh, okay. When you do clearings to exorcisms, how are you going to be approaching that? How do you approach it? So you walk into a place and they say they need a clearing, and then all of a sudden you're like, no, you need an exorcism. How do you do that with them? You know what I mean?
Well, first off, I need to find out what's attached, And if it's just a spirit, just a human spirit that's just kind of annoying, that's one thing. And that's cool. That's an easy fix generally. We just get that spirit to cross over and then they're cleared. But I've seen some nasty energies attached to people, even as long as like from childhood and now they're in their 40s, that they've had attached for a long time. That's a little different. And then I have to confront that entity. And I don't know why, but it's like this natural thing that I don't fear them. Mm-hmm. They do make me angry, but I don't let them know that they make me angry because they feed off of anger.
Right.
Right. Wow. Have you had one so far that you're
Yeah, I
like,
was just gonna say that.
yeah, sorry, you go ahead.
Yeah, have you ever had something come with you, attached to you in that sense once you've done an exorcism of some sort?
Um, my guides don't allow them to attach.
Oh,
That's
okay.
all I can tell you. I have so many guides around me that protect. Even I've done some channeling for some interesting groups of people. I did one for some young people that wanted me to connect with some of this death metal people that had passed on.
Okay.
And like, I know nothing about death metal. Like,
Right.
here I am in my 50s. I don't know anything about death metal. It's not my
Right.
genre. And they asked me to connect with several different of their dead legends, as they called them.
Mhm.
And several of them were coming through, and I was giving them messages that only they would know, because it made
Right.
no sense to me. And finally they asked me to bring in this one, and this guy's name was like Euronymous or something. He was out of, I want to say, Norway or Sweden or someplace like that. Anyway, they asked me to connect with him and get any message I could, and they're like filming this for their podcast. And my guides, literally, when I see somebody coming through, if I'm channeling like that, it's almost like there's a curtain and there's like fog. And they'll come from the shadows and into my space, like the in-between, so that I can see them and I can talk to them and get any message. Well, I watched him start to come through, and I saw all of my guides' hands push him back.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, I don't know what that was about. So I came out of the meditative state, and I said to them, why would my guides push your legend back into the shadows and not let him come through? And they all hung their heads, and they said, well, he was a cannibal.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, if he came in and my guides allowed that, I could have eaten your face. Were you not thinking?
Yeah. Yeah. You never know, right? Yeah.
So,
wow. Yeah, I don't think I want to do anything.
Yeah,
with a cannibal.
exactly.
No. That's nasty. And I'm like, my guides don't allow anybody like that or a negative energy to come in. They just don't.
Right. Now, have you ever had like a client come on in and then they are all of a sudden you see within them that they are themselves evil?
It's not that I see that they are evil, but I will see what's in them that is evil. So it's generally, clients that come to me don't come to me if they're nasty people. They just don't. They're generally very spiritual people, really wanting some guidance, or maybe they're just in search of their spiritual path. So to say, would somebody come to me that's evil? No. Even out in Jackson Square, when random people would come up to me, the nasty ones just walk on by. Or my guides will say, no, you can't read for them.
Right.
So, yeah, we don't.
So you just hand them back their money and say, get.
No, they don't pay me. I just go, no, I can't read for you tonight.
Wow. So you don't charge for readings?
We take donations in Jackson Square. I do for private readings, yes. But out in Jackson Square, it's a donation basis. And they don't give you the donation until after the reading. Gotcha.
Kimberly, do you take you take donations for readings, right?
Nope. I do it for just to help people, or to, I don't think I've ever taken a donation. Maybe they'll, get me something to eat, or, or we go out for coffee or something, and usually no. And it's random when I do readings too. So yeah, it's
interesting.
Random. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So now, Willow, your team, Dark NOLA, tell me about them.
Well, we're all female.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're 3 ladies. 2 that are local, 1 that is in North Carolina now. So, yeah, we're all females, all sensitive. and we have a lot of fun with it.
Well, that's good.
How
That's
long have
good.
you guys been working together?
Since 2017. Yeah.
Okay. And what made you guys decide, oh, we should be doing this? You know, did you guys just meet randomly or?
Well, they were friends of mine. They were assistants. They've worked with
Oh.
me. I've helped train them. So they knew what I did, and they thought, I want to go do that. And I'm like,
Nice.
okay, well, I'll teach you how to use everything, and I'll show you what we're doing. And they love it. So that's, what we do. It's like you show them the equipment. It's so fascinating that they can actually connect with
Right.
the other side, that they're just all over it. They're like, yeah, let's do this. So,
Right.
and I'm looking forward to going to Asheville, North Carolina with my friend and seeing what's over there too. So
Yeah.
haven't done any investigations there yet.
Well, what is one of your guys' best investigation that you can think of that you think that all you girls would agree on?
Well, that's funny because the best one, only one of them was present
Oh.
with me.
Okay.
And we did this in a very old house. I think it was built in like 1910. It was really old here in the city. And we had so much activity coming in that I was trying to film with night vision, and it looked like snow coming at me with so many orbs. That
Wow.
was the first thing. We had disembodied voices. We had all kinds of stuff going on. And we even connected with the Ouija board that night. We've done a lot of things to connect, but that house was just so active. There were 3 resonant spirits in there, and it was crazy active. And the reason I don't go back is the last night that I investigated there, one of them strangled me.
Really?
And and my guides protect me. And the minute that happened, I step outside and I can breathe again. But literally, I could feel their hands around my throat, squeezing tighter and tighter.
Wow.
Wow. That's crazy.
And so
Did your investigator realize that was happening to you at that time? I mean, I would have been freaking out,
No, I was actually by myself with some guests.
Oh,
and the guests are freaking out. And I'm like, open the door. I got to go outside.
Yeah. Wow.
And then I could breathe. And I wouldn't step back in the house. I refused. I said, could you get my bag? Could somebody go in and get my stuff?
Because that's a little challenging there, even though, we still as natural, we're human beings and we could still be afraid, even though we have these types of abilities not to be afraid, so I wouldn't blame you in a way,
And we had all kinds of weird things. Even photos were taken and there'd be like a black mass right next to me in the photo, like blocking out everything. There was nobody putting any hands or anything in front of the camera. It was just, that's the kind of shots we were getting. It was nuts.
Was this a private or was this something that was haunted that you guys already knew that you were getting in that was kind of haunted?
The person that owned the house knew it was haunted and invited us to do it. And so she was working with me for a while to bring people in, guests from out of town, tourists, and I was bringing them in there. I'm like, I can't trust this.
Right.
If that's going to happen to me, what if it happened to one of my guests? It's one thing to talk to the spirits and catch an orb here and there, and it's another thing to be physically attacked.
Right.
What did your guides do at that time?
That's what was weird. It was almost like they were blocked from helping me.
Really?
It's a very powerful spirit.
Wow.
But my guides kind of pushed me out the door. That was all they could do. Because I was in that spirit's realm. He's very attached to that building. It was his house.
Wow.
Okay. Wow, when I got attacked, Kimberly, at Walcott, and I just didn't want to leave. It kept happening, the attack over and over again, started getting worse and worse, and I didn't want to leave. So now what I'm thinking is, since you said, about your spirit guides, I'm thinking mine's are like, let him have a taste of this so he never provokes again, because I don't
Right.
provoke except for that one time, and it was terrible. Wow. Well, listen, half an hour already went by pretty
wow.
quick. So hold on. We're going to go on break. We'll be right back, folks, in 2 minutes.
Your source for everything paranormal. Parax.
You've no doubt heard of Tango and Cash, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Perhaps it takes two to tango. Well, now, on the first and third Thursdays of each month, there's a show called Tango and Friends at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Parax Radio Network with your host, Bruce Tango. And yes, there will be at least two to tango on each episode, sometimes even more. There's going to be lots of topics and lots of guests you'll all know and lots of surprises. Tango and Friends every first and third Thursday of the month at 8 p.m. right here on the Parax Radio Network.
Those geek ladies, Sean and Victoria from Exploring the Paranormal with Geeks Paranormal, are at it again with another amazing season full of paranormal celebrity interviews with amazing guests and stories of haunted locations and so much more. You will hear it first on Parax. Tune in Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Central. You will not be disappointed.
Demons, vampires, werewolves, skinwalkers, all of this and more, Sunday nights at midnight on the Staring Into the Abyss radio show. Come, get lost with us.
And we're back, everybody. All right. So Jerry Ayers, The Calling, Kimberly Juarez, The Calling. And if you are just tuning in and you haven't heard the first part of the show, you have to. Tomorrow, it'll be on the callingradioshow.com website. Sorry, I don't know what's going on. But also, it'll be on the Calling Radio Show YouTube channel for you to listen to. Check it out. If you would like to be a guest on The Calling, send us an email. We would love to have you on. Also, too, remember, there is more shows that are delicious on Parax. You got Geeks Paranormal right after us. And last night, we were actually got the opportunity to be on The Gathering. The Gathering. The Gathering. I was waiting for you to pick up that third one. We went a little longer on the fourth. But Stephanie and Heidi sat us down on their metaphysical table, and what a beautiful studio they have. So clean, so clean. It was just amazing. But anyway, and then also there's Staring Into the Abyss. These guys scare you. I ordered the book from James Hershey Jr., and from what everybody says, you know, read it with the lights on during the day. So we'll see how that goes. So anyway, let's get back. So Willow Le Mechant, something like, okay. Oh my gosh. You know, I'm just an idiot when it comes to names. I have a hard time saying them. So you guys were talking about, evil things, stuff like that. So it's interesting is that I had asked you about Jackson Square.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what you said about Jackson Square.
Oh, the history of Jackson Square. Well, now it's Jackson Square because of Andrew Jackson's statue in the middle. But where his statue was used to be our guillotine and the gallows and the firing squad when the city was new in the early 1700s. So we're at 300 years old plus now. And 1718 was when it was founded. And so here we are 300 years later, but that is the original town square. So everything happened in there. It's a very eerie place, especially really late at night when the fog rolls in. You can see spirits kind of floating through the fog. It's always very creepy in there.
Interesting. Wow. So your guides and everything they're trying. Sometimes they just can't seem to really do anything to kind of pull you back sometimes. I mean, don't you have that natural curiosity that kind of keeps you going, that sometimes you go past the part of where you shouldn't go that far? You know what I mean?
I don't really. I think I've been doing this so long that I know what I should and I should not do. And, it's just kind of this knowing. And I don't really take it over too far. I know where I need to go, and that's all I need to do. And when I am connecting at the other side, I'm doing it to either help someone on the other side cross over, or I'm helping somebody in this side to have closure or just get the message that they need to hear. So I really don't do a lot, except if I'm doing a clearing like I've mentioned, or an exorcism. That's the only time when I may have to deal with a really negative energy.
Now, do you prepare yourself before you do any type of paranormal work or any type of...
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Okay. And what do you do, like meditate or do stuff like that before you do this?
I do a meditation. I do a smudging. Mm-hmm. I ask for the white light to be around me and whoever is with me.
Right.
Because we don't go into any haunted locations unprepared or unprotected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. So now, Kimberly, you had asked her a question that happened in Jackson Square.
Well, can't remember if it was in Jackson Square, but I know it was around the towns that had the beautiful houses, and the one house that comes on, I think it's one of those TV shows, and we were going through there, and we were on one of those tour bus, but when they're talking about all this different stuff and all these graveyards and stuff like that, I literally can see flowing blood going down the street, but in my physical, in my physical eye, and I could see this. And then there was another paranormal investigator who's from Iowa. He said he saw the same thing, and I was like, I wonder what that was all about. I felt like there was a lot of death at that point. So,
yeah, I mean, they say that the dead outnumber the living in New Orleans.
Oh yeah,
true,
yeah.
And if you think about all of the horrendous things that have happened over 300 years, blood has flown. Flowed all through this city. And so, it does not surprise me that you would see that. Mm-hmm. I do psychometry, so I'll touch like a building and I'll see what was going on in the building, way back. So for me, that is not a surprise.
Right. And I just thought it was so odd that he saw the same thing. I was like, oh my God, I just thought it was really, really, well, not cool, but I mean, just odd, in that sense. But, I was going to ask you a little too. You said here says that you started even reading tarot cards at a real young age. Now, what got you involved with that? What got you interested?
Well, when I was 15, I had basically tried to shut spirits out when I was about 9 or 10. I just didn't want them to bother me anymore. My mom wasn't believing me and all of that. So when I was about 13, we had moved out of the haunted home. My father passed away. And my mother finally sat down one day and said she understood and she did believe me. She just didn't want to scare me. She knew they were there.
Right.
So my friends, when I was 15, they wanted me to go to see a tarot card reader and have my cards read. And I'm thinking to myself, I'd like to connect with spirit again. I'm no longer afraid of them. We're no longer in that house with the oppressive spirits. And I'd like to be able to connect again. And it hit me that tarot cards are like a focus tool, a communication device. And so I'm like, I need to learn how to use those. And so it sparked my interest. And that's where it started. And I practiced for a number of years, just trying to connect with the dead and understand what the cards meant, my images and feelings that I would get from them before I would read for the living. I felt I did not have enough life experience yet until I'd had my kids and I was like 30 years old. And now I can talk to people and I can actually help them. But I felt I needed to have more life experience.
Right. Right. And what does your family say about all your gifts and stuff? Do any of the kids have any potential?
Well, my oldest daughter always would call me because my grandson got my gift.
Oh, okay. Yep.
She'd always go, Mom, come on over. Jordan's, seeing spirits again. He says there's some native guy at the window on a horse.
Oh, wow.
I'd have to go over and, okay, well, where is he? Oh, okay. I'm just telling him not to come to the window.
Right.
But yeah, they had all kinds of paranormal things happening. I'm like, well, yeah, because my grandson happens to be a lighthouse. He's the beacon of light.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's got the gift. None of my other children got the gift. Now, it's funny. My mother's generation, so her and her siblings, did not get the gift that my grandmother had. It skipped them. It came to me. Skipped my children, went to my grandson. So it skips every generation for us.
Wow. That's neat. Yeah, go ahead, Jerry.
Oh, no. You're doing good. You keep going, girl. You're on a roll.
Okay, so let me ask you something else, since I'm on a roll. The other thing is, so it says here that your passion is teaching others how to reach their highest potential. Now, I'm asking you, what do I do to reach that higher potential? Or anybody out there, in our chat room, what would you tell them?
Well, first off, it's about releasing all of those human things that are holding you back from that. And so we would tap into what emotions are we holding on to, what past events are we holding on to, because a lot of times that fear that's starting to build up, from different experiences will hold us back from reaching higher. Maybe they have a gift of seeing spirits, but they had a traumatic event happen and now they're afraid to do it. So they shut it down, things like that. And so I do work with them to, let's tap into this. What happened? Let's explain it. Let's figure it out. Right. And the thing is, what we all fear is the unknown. And if we can figure out what it is and understand it, it's no longer unknown to us. It's no longer this mystery. And once we can tap into that, we're able to open up. And it's really all about awakening and just finding, how do you connect to spirit? Who do you connect with? Do you have your guides? Are you paying attention to your higher dimensional beings like angels? That kind of thing. And once I can, work with them, it's all one-on-one. So each person's a little individual, each one's unique. But everybody that I could give advice to out there would be, try to face the fears that hold you back from whatever your gift is. Okay. Understand what that fear is. Right. Embrace it, bring it to the front, embrace it, and release it. And if you need help to release it, then find someone that can help you do that. Right.
Interesting. I like that, Willow. I really do. That's good. Go ahead, Jerry.
No, keep going. I'm keeping track of the chat room.
Well, is there anybody asking any questions or anything? Because I can't see the chat room. Something's wrong with this other computer.
You have two computers? How rich are you?
Yes. I have. Oh, you should see what we have. Well, Anyways, so yeah, I think that's interesting and everything, how you're saying that. So go ahead, Jerry.
So, okay, well, Kimberly, get out of my head. Willow. So there's a little conversation going on here about the third eye. And I know you know about the third eye and everything else. One guy, paranormal writer, great guy, was saying, he said, I know this sounds funny, but I think keeping a more vegetarian and low-sugar diet helps to open up the third eye. And meat and sugar tend to weigh down the ability to travel in those realms, I've noticed. What's your thought on that?
I believe that has a lot of truth in it. I also tell people, don't allow fluoride into your diet. Don't drink tap water.
Yes.
Don't use fluoridated toothpaste, because that will calcify the pineal gland, which is the third eye. And so and it's weird, but once I cut that out and only drink bottled water, I don't cook with anything but bottled water, my third eye opened more.
Right.
So, and I do a lot of Reiki and healing, and I can balance the chakras, open chakras, and things like that for clients. And once I explain that to them, the next session is so much easier to, open up anything if they've stopped having the fluoride in their diet.
Okay, hold on. No, it could possibly be for some people. This is weird, is that when my awakening happened, I mean, my first incident was when I was 5 years old, out-of-body experience, and then little things throughout my life. And then my final one with my mother when she was alive is me telling her she's going to die next year. And then she died when I was 11. She did come back that day and said, yes, I am going to die. I'm going to have a stroke. She told me exactly what it was going to be from, and boom, it happened. So then in time, I mean, when I was 14 years old, when I was 7 years old, having another out of body and almost, out of body experience, but time traveling into the future with a girl that was going to be my girlfriend, sitting on the couch, and she, watching TV, and she bumps me with her elbow and says, "What do you think about that?" In a sassy way. Next thing I'm back to being 7 years old. Okay? So then the thing with Mom. And then when I turned 14, I'm sitting with my first girlfriend. Her name was Randy. And boom, I'm back right after that incident with the TV, and she elbows me and says, "What do you think about that?" I'm back on the couch, and my mother says to me, "You're not going to marry her. You're going to be with someone else." And then boom, I'm back, 14 years old. So many visitations and stuff. And then when I turned 18 and had a car accident, the awakening completely happened. It was bizarre. She told me about the future, what she's giving me. She told me about the guy that was with me when we got into the car accident, that he has crushed pelvis, and the doctors say he's never going to walk again, but he'll be walking within 6 months, which is almost impossible if you completely crush your you have a ghost kitty too, I see.
Yeah.
Or here. And then after that went through, and the doctor said, he's never going to walk again, and him telling me, crying, "I'm never going to walk again, Jerry." I'm like, no. My mom told me. This was my awakening. But I was raised with, outside in the country. We did have vegetables. Yes, we ate our vegetables and stuff. There was not fluoridated water, but there was when I moved to the cities and stuff. I am not a healthy eater, as you can clearly see. I'm like maybe 3 Oreo cookies away from Jabba the Hutt. And
oh my gosh, Jerry. No,
but,
he's not.
my third eye, when it opened up, there's times like even where I live at now, my roommate, Nicole, when she comes walking in the door, I'm in my room, I'm sound asleep, but my third eye sees her. And I will tell her, she'll go to bed, and I'll have to get up because I know she left the door unlocked. I seen it,
Yeah.
Or that she cooked something and left the stove on. My third eye is always awake seeing this, and I'm not the healthiest eaters. If I was, maybe I would be phenomenal then. But, I mean, it could be like that, and I don't mean to
No, you're right.
To punch down on a writer or anything like that. He's the greatest guy in the world and stuff, but, I mean, it's just amazing.
Well, I already had my gift, and could do everything and was still drinking fluoride water and everything like that. But when I stopped, I found that it improved. It got stronger. So you never know. If you went on a strict vegetarian diet, gave up all kinds of fluoride, who knows what would happen? You could be
right. Right.
You could have X-ray vision.
Okay, this is weird. Okay, she was in New Orleans. I just want to say, I'm going to get a little off topic. How I met Willow, and this is very interesting, you guys. I was sitting there thinking about who am I going to have on the show, and especially when Valentina Lomborg had canceled because she possibly thought, she's sick, she's having some issues and stuff, and the name Willow kept coming into my head for at least a couple days, and I thought it had something to do with the show, the movie with Val Kilmer, Willow. So I had to watch Willow, and so I'm watching Willow, and halfway through, all of a sudden, something tells me to go on Twitter. So I go on Twitter, and someone has friended me or requesting or following me, and as I click on that person, it showed 3 people that suggested, and one was Willow, and it was just like somebody slapped me across the face with a 2x4, and even without even really knowing, my thumb twitched, and I sent you a follow. Yeah. And then you came back, and we started talking, and it was like, oh my God, she has to be on my show. And it's like, this is on our show, Kimberly, sorry. And it was just amazing that this was it. So was my third eye actually in Twitter already knew who you were? That
Probably.
Could possibly be. And I was eating Taco Bell at that time. Just want to get that in, guys.
Eat more Taco Bell.
Eat more Taco Bell. So, one of the questions, Sherry says, I has Oreo cookies right now, Jerry. Steve had asked about using the spray on an investigation that I had said that we just got that was in Chanhassen, to where a paranormal writer said he would never even go past that house or anything ever again because it was haunted. So anyway, about the spray. Now, when you do clearings, do you believe in things as spray? Certain type of sprays, or is there something that you use? Do you bring stones or anything? I mean, I'm huge on black tourmaline.
Well, yes, black tourmaline is amazing. I've seen a huge piece be held by somebody that had an attachment, and it broke into 3 pieces when it was done in its hand. It was amazing. But I make my own spray. I actually have a spray. It's called Willow Spirit Begone Spray that I actually sell. That's funny that you asked. It has a special herb in it. It's called Anamu, also known as guinea hen weed, and it banishes all spirits.
Huh.
Okay.
So I even grow that plant now. So.
Well, I'm going to send you a bottle of Steve's spray, and there's a lot of things that we've used it for, everything from clearings to friends that have, that they're going through a lot of problems. Snooky, who is not in the chat room, and she always is. She was the biggest fan of The Calling. I see now she doesn't care about us. Anyway.
What is me?
No. I'm going to. She actually used it because her brother is nasty mean, lives with her mother, their mother, and doesn't really treat her mother right. So she got the spray, told her about it. Steve sent her some, I think, and she's been using it. She goes down there once a week to spray in her brother's room. It has completely changed his attitude. I used it at a house in Monticello. And this is weird, is that they have huge amounts of EMF, huge, and it is from electrical around there. Mm-hmm. There's like a what do you call it? One of those things out in the yard, electrical transformer. Thank you.
Yeah.
I actually took it and put a K2 meter or a EMF detector next to it, and it was going crazy. I sprayed there, and for a short time, it was gone. And that amazed me. So in this guy's house, this guy's been using it. He just uses it like every couple of weeks or something like that, and they're able to sleep, and everything. Because EMF, man, that's a big, huge thing that really attacks a person, But I want to send you some of this. I'm sure that that Steve won't mind me sending you a bottle of it. And Evil does not like his spray, and it's true. It's incredible for what we use it for. Now we're down to 4 minutes left. If someone needs to get a hold of you or would like to learn more about you, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, first they can go onto my website, which is willowlemechant.com. Real easy if you can spell my name. And that's one way. You can reach me also through Facebook. I have multiple pages there. Willow Le Mechant Spiritual Services, Divine Source Spiritual Center, Black Rose Paranormal, Black Rose Weddings, you name it, I got it. It's all on Facebook. And the same is all on Instagram and on Twitter. Also, Dark NOLA Paranormal, that's also on Facebook and Instagram. So that's how you can reach me.
Awesome. Wow. That was like the quickest person that ever did that. That was great. Usually everybody's going to say, now there's some things we never even got to touch base on, and that's fine because we're not going to do, a crunch time, because I would like to have you come back on if you're interested.
Oh, sure. Sounds like fun.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, we'll book you for 3 years out. No, I'm kidding. We'll have you back in like a month, and then we're going to do more of your paranormal investigating and your Dark Rose weddings and all that are dark.
Black Rose weddings.
I know that. And just kind of get into it more. Let's see. Who we got? Well, it's just the chat room's going nuts here. Seems odd for someone that guides don't allow bad near her. 2 black roses and a dark. Oh, okay. Now that Mardi Gras is cray, Sherry. I'd rather go to. Oh, now do you ever go and participate in the Mardi Gras?
I try to stay away from it because there's just too many people. When I first got here 10 years ago, I was all about it, and it's like maybe I got too old, but it's too crowded for me. And
I believe it.
Let's just stay home during that time. I'll go out when it's back to normal.
Right.
Excellent. Wow. This has been a really fast hour, and I so much appreciate. Kimmy, you got something left? We got about 30 seconds.
No, just, are you doing anything recent? Are you doing any paranormal things or anything?
I'm always doing paranormal investigations. I like going into all of our cemeteries, and I'll do them during the day and at night. So, yeah. We're always doing things.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, we've come to the end of the show. Thank you all very much for showing up, and thank you, Para X. Thank you, Sarge. You're the best in the world. And to the troops out there, we really appreciate you guys, and thank you for listening.